This is the plaintiff, Robert. He says the defendant, a property manager where he lives, is harassing him, trying to force him out because he pays a low rent, and that's not fair. He unlawfully enters his apartment when he's not there, doing who knows what with his stuff. He has invaded his privacy, and he's suing the loser, here and now, for $10,000 for harassment. This is the defendant, Jorge Velasquez. He says he's just been doing his job, and for some reason the plaintiff doesn't like it. He keeps records on everything he does, and if anyone's being harassed here, it's him, not the plaintiff. Basically, he keeps his head down, goes about his business, and just wants all this madness to end when the judge makes a ruling. He's accused of excessive snooping. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $10,000 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hand. You see it, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Robert, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing Jorge Velasquez personally, who is the property manager at your building, for $10,000 for unlawful entry, invasion of privacy, and harassment. And you have a counterclaim against him for harassment for the same amount. Okay, folks, tell me what's going on.
Yes, Your Honor. There's been a couple occasions where George will enter the apartment.
How long have you been living there?
I've been there just under 3 years.
Okay. And when did Jorge start working there?
Probably
Mr. Velasquez, let's call him.
Mr. Velasquez.
Right.
About 8 months.
Ago?
8 months, maybe
Okay.
just under a year, somewhere under a year as well.
Okay.
Essentially, I'm in construction, so I'm out of town. It could be for the week, the weekend, for a few months. Just recently, I left for 3 months at a time. And this is a typical lifestyle. It's my career. It's what I do. It's how I do it. So in the past, I've experienced issues, you know, either someone breaking into my apartment or just I have things that...
When you're gone 3 months?
Right. You know, so I have things I have to be taken care of. So I have someone around all the time.
Wait, who's the someone you have around all the time?
Right now, it's my girlfriend.
So your girlfriend's there
she doesn't
for
live
3 months watching the place while you're gone on jobs?
No, she'll just come, check on the place, pay bills, pay rent.
This is a rent-controlled apartment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is your girlfriend on the lease?
She's been stated as a caretaker, an assistant of my place, yes.
I don't know what you just said. Is she on the lease?
There you go. I can show it to Your Honor.
Okay.
There's a form you fill out that the property manager...
Is she a leaseholder?
I'm sorry?
I don't know how to make my question any clearer. Is she on the... Listen to me. I'm not asking if she's allowed to be there. I'm asking you a different question. Listen to me.
Yes.
Is she a leaseholder? Does she have a right to rent there?
Not to rent there.
No, she doesn't pay rent, and she's not on the lease as a leaseholder.
She is on the lease stated on this application.
As someone who can be there, not a leaseholder.
No.
Okay, show me what you got. Okay, go on.
And so Jorge's he's just been looking for things from the beginning. It started off with my barbecue, that I'm barbecuing. I don't. Then we put that issue to rest. Then he says that I've got pets. Well, my mom comes around. My girlfriend comes around. My sister comes around. All of them have little dogs. The reason I moved there was because it was a pet-friendly apartment. It advertised then and till now still advertises as a pet-friendly apartment. Now, I do not personally have pets, and they're not in the apartment.
They're not in the apartment?
There's no pets that stay with me, live with me. You know what I mean? I have pets. My mom comes, she'll bring a pet with her. My girlfriend comes, she has a little dog as well.
You mean for like an hour or two?
For whatever duration of time they're here.
What's the longest duration of time the pets have been?
My mom lives in Nevada, so when she comes, she stays for the week.
How often have you seen the dog there?
Your Honor, I've seen the dog there several times. I've also seen his girlfriend late on early mornings when I do my walk-arounds before I go to work, walking the dogs outside, not cleaning up after them, in her pajamas, which is, I mean, indicative that she is living there. She's been there for a while.
Well, it could be indicative that she...
I understand.
Excuse me. It could be indicative that she spent the night.
I understand that, but I have addressed the issue about the dogs. I've addressed the issues about the girlfriend. I said, if you want, I need you to please, like all other tenants, to pay your dog deposit. I need
How
you to
much is the pet deposit?
$300 for each dog.
Okay. And how many dogs are there?
Two Chihuahuas. And I said, I need you to please apply for your girlfriend. I need her to apply so that she can be on the lease. On one occasion, around June or July, I got a knock on my door. Hi, I live in 112. I locked myself out. I'm Robert's girlfriend. I go there. The key that I have did not open the door. It's like, okay, I don't know. I can't let you in. She ended up getting in through the balcony.
Why were you letting her in anyway? If she's not on the lease, why would you let her in?
This is a few months before, after I've taken care of, I've been on the property, the manager, and I've been there for almost 2.
What does that have to do with my question? Why were you letting her in anyway if she's not on the lease?
Because I didn't know that she wasn't. Then I went back to look at the lease.
Yeah, but you know, they could have broken up and she could be crazy. It could, like, there could be all kinds of problems.
True.
So, I mean, if they're not on the lease, you shouldn't be letting anybody in.
I have had a couple of tenants tell me, don't let this person in because on and on. So I looked back at the lease, and that's when I pointed out to him, your girlfriend needs to be on the lease if she's going to be living here. So in regards to the dog.
What is this form? You said that I asked you if she was in the lease, if she was a leaseholder, then you said.
That is not a form that I have.
know. You stapled a piece of paper to your lease that doesn't have her, that says tenant information form, wherein you write that she has all rights, including access and paying rent. And that's you writing it. That's not, I don't know what the rules are in your building. Is he allowed to have somebody move in with him, or no, not if they're not approved by the board?
Can I see that? Because that's not me.
Your Honor, if I can, when I get a chance.
Hold on.
This is an information form that I requested all tenants to provide, which I never got a copy of his at all. Because I make copies of everything. I keep everything. I file everything. I never got this. She was never on there. And besides, if she's
that wouldn't put her on the lease, though, anyway, right? All right. Okay, so what? So I see a series of texts that you both have handed me a lot of texts that I've gone through carefully, and they depict a pretty rational, polite relationship between the two of you. He's a stickler for. I shouldn't use the word stickler because that sounds like it's not what he's supposed to do. He's good at his job. Stop. He's good at his job. That is what people pay him to do.
That's fine.
To do the rounds at 5:30 in the morning and to find people who he thinks are violating the rules and to bring it to their attention politely and to ask them to stop violating rules. That's the reason you have a property manager.
Yes.
So how does that translate to a $10,000 cash payout for you from him personally?
Oh, that's for the unlawful entry.
Talk to me about the unlawful entry, but so far you've talked to me about he told you shouldn't have pets without paying a pet deposit. That's his job. So what is it that's so unusual that he's doing that means he has to pay?
What he's doing right now is it's a rent control place, okay? And so what actually the housing department, which I have here, because he tried to evict me under those circumstances that he said to you, but the housing department's seen it differently with the information they were provided, and they went and considered it and deemed it an illegal eviction, and they stopped it from going to court. Now that's a separate issue.
Hold on, stop.
Go ahead.
Did the owners try to evict him?
Not yet.
I have paperwork right here.
So what are you?
A 3-day notice. I'm sorry, I should have called it a 3-day
notice. Is a piece of paper. It's not an eviction.
A covenant, a 3-day covenant or quit.
Right. It says get out. We want you out. But that's not. They haven't gotten to court and filed an eviction yet.
Right.
So let me see what you have from housing.
Okay. Now this is also. I have several other cases for management and for different issues that we have going on besides my small claims here with George or Mr. Velasquez today. So there's some information that I'm giving you that I'd really not like to put out there just yet. There's some things over here that he also
How many
doesn't
cases
have.
do you have?
Well, right now we have one with the housing department, one with the health department, and we're going to see how things go here, and I'm going to go to Superior Court when necessary.
Well, you're not going to Superior Court here.
No, not here.
My rulings are final.
Right. No.
I'm going to rule, and it's going to be over.
It's done. I understand that.
But not
absolutely.
on that.
Yeah, on different situations.
Okay.
However, what we have, like you said.
Hold on. Let me read what you just handed me. Hold on. Okay, here's the statement you made. Housing saw it differently. Okay, where does this say housing saw it differently? You've handed me a piece of paper that just says confirmation that you filed a complaint. Show me how housing ruled differently.
Well, what housing did, they actually sent me an email I can pull up right now. See if they sent it to me.
Well, that's what I thought you were handing me.
I'm sorry, you know what it was? They didn't rule on it. The filing went through, they got the 3-day notice, and then what they did was they're supposed to generate an email that just says, because they kept your rent after that 3-day notice of covenant.
Do you have anything from housing saying you're right about anything? That's what I want.
No, I don't have that.
All right, stop. Then don't say that you do. Okay.
That's fine.
Fine. So now, they give you a 3-day notice on what day?
November.
Okay.
Something in November, I think.
And
a November or December date.
All right. And why haven't they acted? That's come and gone because you've accepted November, December rent.
That's what that.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about.
The 3-day notice was in regards to the dogs to either pay or.
Right. But when you don't do anything after the 3-day notice and you accept rent, you have to do another 3-day notice to start things again. So right now there is no eviction in process.
There is actually.
Say it again.
Through the company, there is.
Your
So
Honor, if I
they're
may.
meaning what? They haven't filed the 3-day notice yet.
They just tell me they're doing the paperwork.
They're gonna?
They're gonna, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. But
they
there's
will
not
tell me when to serve
That's fine,
notice.
that's fine. All right, so now tell me about the unlawful entry.
Oh, his own text tells you that, oh, I got to go to the apartment. Okay, well, and my response was, well, I wanted to be there. Oh, well, the guys are there now. Okay, cool, go ahead. I'm
Okay,
trying to be flexible.
Wait, stop. The cool go ahead is the permission.
Right, no, I understand. And
So then what's
that's
the
how-
harassment?
no,
What's
that's
the
how-
unlawful entry?
Here's one date that he's mentioning an unauthorized tenant after an inspection of November 16th. So he's stating here.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see that.
So
Let me
he's
see that.
stating here he was on November 16th. He did an inspection in my apartment.
Well, no, it doesn't say that. It just says inspection on November, so let's find out what that is. Hold on.
For a smoke
Please be
detector.
advised that after we performed, smokes and leaks inspection, we noticed that you have an unauthorized adult and child in your unit.
Your Honor, that.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So there's a smokes and leaks inspection on November 16th.
That is correct.
All right, and he is saying you were testifying that you never got notice that there would be a smokes and leaks inspection.
No.
But the smokes and leaks inspection is building wide, right?
That is correct.
So did you post on the doors about the smokes and leaks
I
inspection?
have the picture of the notice on his door. I have
his
the
door?
notice. I have emails
Why do you
from
have the picture of
tenants.
the notice on his door? You take a picture
I
of the
have
notice on
pictures of
everybody's
all
door?
of his because he's claimed that I never provide, and every time I put a
because
notice
things
on
had
his
already
door,
gotten hot between you two
Yeah,
at that
this
point.
is the notice. This is the ones that I printed
When you went
because
there that day, was the girlfriend there?
on the 16th, she was there, opened the door. I mentioned to her, we're here for the inspection. We had to do all 42 units.
And what did she say?
She said, hold on a second, closes the door, calls Robert, opens the door, puts him on the phone. I said, Robert, as a reminder, we had to do the inspection today. You got a notice on this. May we enter to do the inspection? Give her a second. She's got to leave she's got to leave from the apartment. She takes the phone back. She leaves. We go in literally 3 minutes to do the inspection. While I'm in the unit, I look over by the door. He's got a frame, some picture there. There's a couple of notices stuck on there, and one of them was the notice that he did receive.
So he's lying.
That is correct.
You have provided into evidence a bunch of affidavits or statements by other tenants saying that they got notice on the
Correct.
door. Okay. Do you have any other unlawful entries?
The dates that he stated that he's been in my apartment, I have no notice of entry. If he has pictures
What
of them,
dates did he state
I
that
have-
he's been in your apartment? While you're looking, what's your counterclaim against him for?
The bullying, the telling me that if I bother him if I bother him again about his girlfriend, he's going to take it on to me personally.
Right.
Then, Your Honor,
Well, you say
I'm
take
not
it on to you
responsible.
personally. Hold on. When you say take it on to you personally, what he says is, I'm going to sue you personally. You're going to be personally responsible.
as a threat.
He doesn't say he's going to take it out on you, like beat you up or something.
I took it as a threat. Your Honor, this is an individual that when I first took over the building, every month there would be 10 to 12 cops showing up, guns pulled out, going to his unit.
That's
One time I
defamation
Do you
saw
have
him
any
for
police
arrest.
reports?
That's defamation
They
of
did
character,
not
Your
give
Honor.
me anything on that.
Who's
I
they?
asked them, the police department.
That has
Stop
nothing to do with
talking.
it, Your Honor.
Stop talking.
That's fine.
This is not something I'm making up. Your
This is
Honor.
not how I do it. You don't just get to yell that when you don't like what a litigant is saying. I'm trying to elicit testimony.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, the property manager is on it, doing his job all the time, and he's, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong. Is that doing the job or is that harassment?
I feel like he's doing the job. I don't feel like it's harassment because you should do what you're supposed to, especially if he's not overdoing it.
Fair enough. What do you say?
I think that people should follow the rules. I mean, that's what
They
they're
should
there
follow the rules, but if the guy is on it and on you and there, is it harassment?
No, not at all, because he's doing his job.
Fair enough. You say?
He's doing his job.
That's what he says. Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any police reports to prove what you're saying?
I do not have a police report on
Why
that.
not?
No.
There would be, if every month there were 8 to 10 police officers there would be a report.
Yes, it's true.
So why don't you have police
reports?
reports?
That's why I feel unsafe around him as well. Okay. The
Right,
other
but
thing
why
is-
don't you have police reports to back up what you're saying?
I don't. So
Because you didn't go to pick them up, or there were none in existence?
I did not go to pick him
Okay,
up.
I prefer to hear that.
I did not
because,
go pick him up.
All right, go ahead.
He claims that people are having sex by his car or something. I don't know this. I'm not going to sit in front of their surveillance camera to look at every footage unless they give me a specific time. He's been told, if anything happens, you need to make a police report. The police will check the surveillance
How is that
camera.
harassment of you, though?
12, around 1 o'clock in the morning. I got 3 calls, and then I finally picked it up. It was one of the tenants. She had locked herself out, And this was around 2 o'clock or so. I opened the door. There's a pair of used condoms on my door.
You open your own door?
I open my own door.
Because you live in the apartment complex?
Yes, I live
All
in
right,
the apartment.
and then there's
I
a
go
pair
let
of
her
used...
in.
Okay.
I come back. I put them in a bag. I'm pissed off. I look at the surveillance camera, and it's Robert dropping off the condoms on my door.
Oh, I got to see this. There needs to be an eviction. I mean, people don't need to live like this if that's true. If that's true.
The bottom one, on a rainy day when we have the rains, there's a condom floating on the water, and he sends me a picture of that. What am I?
Who sent you a picture of that?
Robert.
In front of your apartment or in front of his?
That's just in the gutter by the parking structure.
Right, but that's consistent with his complaint that people were having sex by his car?
It was a rainy day. That condom was floating from who knows where.
Why it would be floating from anywhere?
But he sends it to me as if I'm responsible for cleaning that up or watching who's having sex around his car.
Did you put the used condom wrappers on his front doorstep?
That was when I was telling him. I said someone broke in my car.
So the answer is yes, but that you were complaining about the situation in front of your car.
I was bringing it to him, right? I was bringing it to him.
So you put it in front of his home.
I brought it to him.
No, it didn't bring it to him. You left it. You left it surreptitiously in front of his door. So you left it surreptitiously in front of his door so it would bother him and not you.
No, I called him. I called him about it. You can see the phone record, John. I called him to tell him, hey, look. And
Okay, folks.
This was the third time.
Do you have
that
any other evidence of illegal entry that we haven't talked about?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Do you have any other evidence?
Any more? No.
Any more? Well, you didn't have evidence of the first one.
Not good
But
enough.
do you have any evidence of unlawful entry?
No, I don't.
Anything else on the harassment other than the man doing his job?
No, I don't, Mr.
Okay. Based on what I have listened to, I do not find any evidence of harassment on the part of Mr. Velasquez to Robert. I also, on your counterclaim against him, which I know you filed out of frustration and, because he was suing you personally, I also don't find any evidence of it. You yourself had told me that he was I think it's tasteless to leave the wrappers in front of your door, but I don't know that that constitutes $10,000 worth of harassment. I don't know whether there's perhaps somebody else that he should, if it's true that you feel threatened and you feel, I've read the emails that you've sent your employer on the topic, that you feel like he might be dangerous, and that if all that's true, may I suggest, and this is by no way, shape, or form a ruling on my part, because I don't have jurisdiction over this, but may I suggest that it might behoove the organization to give him somebody else to deal with, especially if it's true that he's on borrowed time and they're going to evict him. Just so that there's no further excuse to bring multiple lawsuits in different places. That's just my advice. But based on what I've listened to on your lawsuit against him, 0, on your counterclaim against him, 0, good luck, folks.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
All right, so here comes the plaintiff. He did not collect on his $10,000 suit. And what's your reaction here?
Well, at least he knows I'm serious. If he does come in my apartment without a notification, we'll have to file that time and bring the paperwork in for Ms. Milian to see.
How many more cases do you have ongoing now?
Oh, well, we'll see. Hopefully they back off, and maybe we'll just have less of them.
So what's next for you?
Well, see where we go, see where they take it. The next move is on them.
All right, around the corner this way.
Have a good day.
There he goes.
All right.
There he goes. All right, there goes your buddy there. And what's your feeling on the outcome here?
Basically, when tenants sign a contract, they need to realize that they need to follow the rules. If they feel they want to break the rules, they need to just buy their own home and do whatever they want.
You think you've heard the end?
No, I haven't heard the end of it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he is not a safe person to be around with. Very unpredictable.
Safe in what sense, you mean?
He gets very verbal, and, I mean, it's...
Doesn't sound that scary.
Yeah.
Harvey?
FYI, Kurt, when you do things like take condom wrappers and put it on the property manager's door, it does not make you look reasonable. Just think about that. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.